All right, today we are going to go into some articles. So this is going to be the most up-to-date stuff for the NIL. I'm going to go talk about it, tell you what's going to happen, and I can keep my eye on the matter myself. So this one is a lawsuit called the Chainless versus the NCAA. Essentially, now this is February 19th, but an Ole Miss quarterback from Trinidad secured a preliminary injunction from a Mississippi State court judge, clearing the way for him to compete in the 2026 season, effectively granting him a 6th year of NCAA eligibility, which will net him $5 to $6 million in the NIL package. This is what's starting to happen. Now, basically, at this point, it says at the heart of the dispute, it's whether the NCAA lawfully denied him a medical redshirt year. He was injured, etc. The goalpost keeps moving. Players are using these NIL agents and NIL marketing agencies essentially with lawyers, and they're fighting in court. NCAA, I believe, has about 50 lawsuits. This is, like I said, an Ole Miss quarterback. So this is worth $5-6 million for him to win one more year. This is what I mean by this zeitgeist is changing. Everything is money-based. People are leaving for money. They're going to transfer portal for money. They're all types of stuff. Another one we got is a guy in Tennessee. This guy, judge denies. Now, in this situation, the judge denied this quarterback a whole nother year. If I remember correctly, he won it, on Friday. He decided to write an injunction against the NCAA, challenging the legality of its junior college eligibility rule under Tennessee state antitrust law. Basically, all these are antitrust lawsuits. And the ruling has a major implication for the NCAA's overall eligibility battle, which counts more than 55 lawsuits. But now the NCAA has been successful at the state level. The case could deter players from pursuing the legal strategy of filing an antitrust case in state court. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because that is where the battleground is right now. All the NIL players are being represented by lawyers who want all that money that they want to get, and they're fighting in the state battleground in hopes to gain more eligibility, which means gets more money. This is how it's poisoning the well. And as more and more people do this, more incentives for money comes in. This is what I mean in my last video I talked about in the podcast, the corruption, the money. This is what happens. Now the entire focus of, instead of looking out for the betterment of the athletes or helping them with finance or infinite number of other things, we're focusing on lawsuits. What's this? Aguilera played 21-22. He won eligibility to play a 5th year of college in 2025 after Vanderbilt quarterback Diego Pavia won a preliminary injunction in this federal antitrust lawsuit, and the NCAA granted all players a 1-year waiver. This is what they're doing. They want to extend it for as long as they can and keep earning more money. As I mentioned in the last article, the guy's making $5 million for his NIL deal. Money, all about money. What's the next one? Big Ten offensive line are suing the NCAA over eligibility. College football players, power brokers are tightening their grip over the sport. What are we looking at? Is it to be implemented? Yeah, while it's yet to be implemented, Purdue Boilermakers offensive lineman, I can't say that name, so I'm not going to try, is taking the NCAA to court. This comes straight from the shocking the quarterback ruling. He seeks injunctive relief to not count his 2 years of NAIA Lawrence Tech towards his 5-year clock. It sounds like he played for a JUCO team, and now he doesn't want those years to be counted against him. So instead of you getting to college at 17, 18, and staying there until you're 22, now he's about to stay there till he's 25, 24. This is what's happening. You're seeing it in college basketball. You're seeing it here. And the last article I want to bring up is this. Another one, the high-profile lawsuit filed by former Alabama basketball player against the NCAA has sparked discussions about the potential impact on college baseball and other sports. about the NIL. Compensation unfairly restricting student athletes' ability to earn money from their athletic success, which is true. I do agree with that their athletic success they should be able to get, but it should have been in what, like I used to call an apple, in the sandbox. You don't want them to go outside that sandbox, because now you have lawyers, agencies, and people who aren't looking out for their best interest. Gambling especially is infecting all of college. Now you give them a means to get themselves inside and manipulate the game, so now it's not as authentic as people want. And I guarantee that's what they're going to bring up here. They're going to play for Alabama in 2022 to 2026. Is suing the NCAA, claiming its NIL rules violate antitrust laws. Yes, of course, lawyer. You got a lawyer. You want to get money. We all know what this is. If it's successful, it could impel the NCAA to loosen restrictions on NIL deals for all student athletes, not just basketball and football players. I said football players, but this is just basketball players. Like, this is what's happening. Now, everyone's going into this. Everyone's trying to do it. What else? I gotta have one more. No, that's the Ole Miss one. Yeah, this red shirt rules. Why it matters. NIL in 2021, the economics of college football have shifted in the proposed House settlement, which is in 2025. Accelerates that shift by allowing direct school payments while also imposing roster limits and caps on direct play. Now, this is focused more on football, but this is all, it's definitely going to infect every other sport. In that setting, eligibility rules functions not only as participation rules, but also as market access rules. They shape who can remain in Division I football long enough to keep a scholarship, earn NIL compensation, and potentially receive direct school payments. That is why Patterson matters. The plaintiff argued that the NCAA's eligibility limits end their chance to play and earn an additional season. It is a battleground. That's what's happening. The NCAA failed to anticipate you should be paying players. Period. That's what should have happened. All right, we got what we needed from this. The NCAA failed. When I was in school, what they should have did was they should have taken all that revenue they were making and invested it to the universities, Division I athletes. You should have subsidized it for the mid-majors and smaller schools and allowed the bigger schools to pay players within the confines of cost of living. So if you're in West Virginia, you get a little bit less, and you're in California, you get a little bit more. On average, it should be like $3,000-$4,000 a month. Solid salary. The playing cost. I would have loved to be making $4,000 a month in college. That's $52K a year, only for Division I scholarship athletes. And if there's problems when it comes to the schools, the NCAA's job is to subsidize the small schools so competition stays where it should. But of course, like always, they want to be too greedy. And I forgot the story of the young kid who got to the NCAA tournament, and now his mother couldn't even get to watch him play at the biggest stage of his life because NCAA wanted to be so greedy, not even give her a plane ticket. Greed, as always, destroyed the NCAA, and it's about to destroy what everyone loves about collegiate sports. The authenticity, the want to win, the reason why people can't stand the NBA anymore. Hey, I'm already seeing examples of guys being more lazy. They got, I call it the princess syndrome. Now because they have the NIL deal, they feel like they can do what they want. They're not playing as hard. Coaches are constantly talking about it. I'll talk about that in another video. That's the reality. That's what's happening now. So, what are we going to do about it? There's nothing you can do. Unfortunately, these lawsuits are coming, and the NCAA has no choice but to fight each one by hand. You're going to spend more money in litigation than you have ever gotten. You just paid the goddamn players the first time. But what do I know? I don't own NCAA. I'm not in those business. And now you about to lose out. Because now the G, like, don't get me wrong, the money's good. But best believe the NBA is going to start wising up to this. And they're going to make sure the G League is taken care of. Because they're losing out on G League players because they're going back to college. So best believe they're going to adapt. And now you're going to see gambling. You're going to see, and this is the other part I want to say about this. The worst part of this is that even though all these other players are making a 5 mil, 6 mil, basketball, I just looked, there are some guys making 9, 10 mil. Those other guys on that team who aren't getting paid, they're going to be so much more likely, as I mentioned in my last video, to fall into corruption, to fall into point shaving, to fall into gambling themselves. Now you ruin the sanctity of competition. Because now, as everyone who probably watches the video and watches sports understands, well, it's not the same anymore. You don't even know if the refs are cheating because they're shaving points, or if an injury's real. No one knows anymore because they could have gotten money on the side. And like, that's the unfortunate part. It's like, you literally ruined it. You ruined it for yourself. You had a great thing going. All you had to do was pay the players. Give them a solid between $3 to $5K a month for Division I, Division II scholarship athletes. Would it cost you a couple, 8 figures, possibly 9? Yeah. But now you're about to pay 8 to 9 figures to pay out all these lawsuits. And the loss of revenue now because people aren't going to watch it no more. This is what's called short-term business mindset, shitification. You screwed this up. And it's like, why am I having the one that had to sound this off? Well, I have been doing it for about 10 years. But that's my rant. That's the NIL. That's where we're at today. Unfortunately, I don't see a good future in college athletics. For the smaller athletic teams, something could work because most of those athletic teams outside of football and basketball, they lose money. So for the individual athletes who build a brand, yes, capitalize on it. Do as much as you can. As an organization, NCAA, you lost. You screwed it up for yourself. Now the NCAA is gonna follow the exact same trajectory of the NBA. What you see is happening in the NBA and how fake it feels and how no one wants to play hard and how it's princesses everywhere and no one wants to compete and there's no rivalries. The Duke and North Carolina rivalry, yeah, that's gone. That team spirit, that's gone. And the fans are going to be the first ones to feel it. So, did you learn something? And hopefully we can do something else next time. See you later. Well, see you later.